What's going on? Welcome back to 100% NUFC, and as you can tell, I am so angry. This video is going to be a rant about Michael Owen, and there's going to be a lot of bad language in this video. So if you don't like bad language, please click off this video right now and watch another video. So we're hearing news that Michael Owen has been reporting to the papers that he regrets, I repeat, regrets signing for Newcastle United Football Club back in the day when we had Freddie Shepherd as owner. Now, we were the club, right, that gave Michael Owen a fucking lifeline. We gave him a fucking Premier League lifeline when no fucker actually wanted him. Now, there was reports that he wanted to go back to Liverpool when he originally did sign for them, and then he left for Real Madrid. You know, fair enough. In his Liverpool days, he was a fantastic goal scorer. He got his call up in England. Fair play. He got his big move to Real Madrid, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Fair play. But Real Madrid, right, couldn't fucking wait to get rid of you. And you were talking about, you had all these different discussions with Freddie Shepherd at the time and Graham Souness to say that, you know, yeah, I was interested in signing for Newcastle, but my heart was always at Liverpool. But for me, Liverpool did not want you because they knew, right, that you were injury prone. They knew, right, that you weren't the same as where you were back in the day when you played for Liverpool. And what happened? Yes, a club like Newcastle, when we had Freddie Shepherd, we had actually a little bit of ambition. We were, you know, climbing the top end of the league. We were challenging for the Premier League title, the Champions League consistently. We had Europa League football. And we actually paid a record transfer fee of 16 to 70 million for you from Real Madrid. And they accepted the offer. And you, right, were the next big fucking thing since Alan Shearer. And Alan Shearer, right, was coming towards the end of his career at Newcastle. But you had, right, that time or that chance to actually link up with one of the best strikers in the Premier League in Alan Shearer, and you had a chance at Newcastle, right, to make history. But what did you do? You didn't, right? You fucking spent more time getting injured and bunking all the money that you got off the gambling up the wall, as well as being on the treatment bench, and spending less time putting effort on the St James's Park football pitch. I'm sorry, mate, right? But when you signed for Newcastle United, we turned out in our droves. Like, we welcomed Sir Bobby Robson as manager, Kevin Keegan as manager, Alan Shearer coming back to Newcastle to play for us, and you turn around and say that, oh, I didn't want to sign for Newcastle because, oh, the stadium, that's all it is a 52,000 capacity ground, and the fans are so disillusioned and they're so delusional and all that stuff. I'm sorry, like, right, but we see the club, right, for what it is now. The club, right, bought you because we wanted to be a sustainable top 6 club. And what happened while you were at Newcastle? Yes, mate, we got fucking relegated to the Championship. And you went on to say things like, oh, I wasn't happy with Sam Allardyce because the way he set up on away matches. I wasn't happy with Glenn Roeder. I wasn't happy with Graham Souness, right? But I'm sorry, right? If you're representing Newcastle United Football Club and you're representing this fucking badge, right? You play for this fucking football club. There's fucking local players, right, back in the day, or players who, of your calibre, if your quality, would love to have put on that black and white shirt, right, and would love to have put a better effort in than you did at your time at Newcastle United, right, because you, mate, were fucking useless. You were fucking dreadful on that football pitch, right, and you were saying things like, oh, yeah, I lost all faith in Newcastle fans after when I got injured against Watford. I'm not being funny, right, but half the time you spent most of your time, right, faking injury, sitting on that treatment room, right, and just taking the money and using the club for what we were, right. Let's be real with it, right? You were our record fucking signing, right? We paid a lot of money for you, right? When that was a lot of money for us back in the day. We don't spend that sort of money. Well, we have as of late for Joe Linton, but that was a big fucking deal. You were a big fucking deal for our football club. And I'm sorry, right? You turned into a Shola fucking Aniobi while you were here. No disrespect to Shola Aniobi, but that's what you were. You were a fucking Shola Aniobi. And I'm not being funny, right? Your performances, right, were as much fucking use as a dead fucking crayon. Honestly, mate, your performances, I'll repeat, were as much use as a fucking blunt crayon. That's how bad you were on the pitch. And you failed to deliver when we needed you most. You got relegated, right, in the 08-09 season when you were our record signing. You were Michael Owen. You were the player who spent most of his time, you know, in the Champions League spots with Liverpool. But for somehow you spent most of your time injured because, let's be honest, you weren't interested in playing for Newcastle. It wasn't down to injury most of the time, because you even admitted it the other day in the papers that you didn't really want to sign for Newcastle, so your attitude wasn't there. And the reason why we suffered, right, in the 08-09 season was because you failed to deliver when we needed to do most. You failed to deliver. And yes, we had some sort of called big names, such as Damien Duff, Joey Barton, Kevin Nolan, right? But at the end of the day, that should have been enough for you to deliver on that pitch, to put performance in for these 52,000 fans that turned up week in, week out to watch you play. The record sign and play for this football club, and you failed to deceive. Even on away games, we would travel in our numbers and pack out the away grounds, even on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night, or a Monday night even, when people had work the next day. And you just couldn't give a shit. You couldn't give a toss about our football club. Now, the thing is, Liverpool, right, I'm not being funny, didn't want you because they were in the top 6 at the time. They had other ambitions elsewhere. And who else was going to buy you outside the top 6? Nobody. Nobody had the sort of money. Maybe it's Aston Villa back then. But we wanted to show that we were a consistent top 6 club. And the reason why it all went downhill and we ended up getting relegated was because, yeah, for most of it you were injured. And also, you know, Alan Shearer, right? He counted on you when he was the manager to try and keep us up. It was tough, don't get us wrong. And at least he had the bottle, right? To step up from, you know, retiring as a player to go on and, you know, try and keep the club up. It wasn't easy. And the damage had already been done with the likes of Joe Kinnear at the football club. But the thing is, right, you could have been a hero and you couldn't even have done that. And even Alan Shearer turned around and said, right, on the final day away at Aston Villa, all you thought about was your wages. You probably fucking did think about your wages, you greedy cunt. Eh? The one game where you should have delivered for the football club and you couldn't do that. And what happened? Yeah. We then got relegated to the Championship. And did you stay? Did you fuck? You went straight to Manchester United, right, for the money. And what did you do after that? You done the one bad thing. Being a Liverpool supporter, Liverpool giving you the chance that they did, and you went to rivals Manchester United, and you even admitted you went to to Manchester United to go and piss off the Liverpool fans. Who the fuck would do that? And who the fuck would even say that? Oh, done it to piss all the Liverpool supporters off. The supporters, right, who had firm belief in you. The club who actually gave you the football career that you've had. The club that you made your name for, and you went and did that. Mate, you had 1 or 2 decent seasons at Manchester United, and yeah, you won the Premier League title because you had better players around you, but yet you couldn't fucking do that for Newcastle in the seasons that you were here. Fuck off. Fuck right off. And then where did you go after that? Oh yeah, you went to Stoke fucking City. Stoke fucking City, a club who hadn't even been in the Premier League very long. You could tell your career was fucking coming to an end because you went to Stoke fucking City. Your career, right, should have ended a long time ago, and we shouldn't have kept you for as long as we did. We only kept you, right, because we actually believed in your ability. It's for you to come out and said that, oh, yeah, I hid in the toilet because I had injuries and shit like that, but I'm sorry, mate. Right, who makes up fucking excuses like that? You're playing for Newcastle United Football Club? Newcastle United Football Club? How dare you, right, fucking mock me? Our club for what it is. How fucking dare you, mate? How fucking dare you? Mock the club of Newcastle United. Yes, I understand that we're not the same club anymore. That's down to Mike Ashley because he's a real deal owner. All he cares about is sell a player, bring a player in, sell a player, bring him in, sell a player, and all that shit, right? And we've gone from being a top 6 club to let's just stay in the Premier League. And we've had a couple of relegations. As I've said before, you were part of it. You were part of it, mate. And the only reason you're saying what you're saying now is because, in terms of regretting, you know, playing for Newcastle, is because you fucking relegated this fucking great club. You relegated us, mate. Right? The record signing, the one who got away, the one who couldn't fucking deliver on the big fucking stage, the one who fucking bottled it, missed a little shitty arse there, right? Comes out on fucking BT Sport, right? The one who can't even fucking the one who couldn't fucking can't string a sentence together. I'm sorry, but a 3-year-old, right, could talk as much sense about a football game than you do. Your fucking commentaries are shite. You're fucking useless on BT Sport. I'm surprised you've even got a job on that. I'm surprised you're still not fucking gambling your fucking horses, man. Useless fucking cunt. And you fucking come out and criticise our football club. You know what? I kept my gob shut, right? Back in the day when, you know, you had that sort of issue with Mike Ashley and things like that, because I thought, right, okay, Michael Owen. I'd expect out less, but I'll keep my gob shut. But the fact that you said what you said yesterday, I regret saying for Newcastle, mate, back in the day, I remember saying I didn't fucking want you anyway. I didn't fucking want you. But at the same time, I'll welcome any Newcastle player with open arms because they're playing for Newcastle United, right? And in my time of supporting Newcastle United, I'm 25-year-old, right? And I've seen some good Newcastle players come and go, but I've seen some really bad ones. But the bad ones, right, I've never seen them come out like you did and say along the lines of, I regret playing for Newcastle United Football Club, right? So have a bit of fucking respect for the club that you've actually played for the managers, right, that you've actually been under. Yeah, they're not brilliant, right? But at the end of the day, You graced the pitch at St James's Park. There's players, right, that would die to play for fucking Newcastle United Football Club. There's players out there who are playing in the Championship right now that would love to play for Newcastle United Football Club. There's players, right, that would love to have linked up with Alan Shearer, right, for you to have said things like what you've said. I mean, Shearer wants now to fucking do you, mate. You fucking ruined your relationship with him. Shearer, right, is well respected in football. He's got plenty of friends. He doesn't fucking need you. Shearer does not fucking need you. Honestly, man, stick with your fucking gambling, right? And I'm not being funny, right? Your football career, right, or your end of your football career is going to be as much fucking use as your fucking your management career when you ever get one, a job in football. Because to be fair, you'll probably take them fucking down as well. Goodness knows where you're going to get in your fucking managerial career. Because I tell you what, your fucking players that you get will end up getting injured. So fucking be careful what you say about Newcastle next time, right? Be fucking grateful that you play for a fucking great football club. Yes, we don't win trophies. That's all down to one fucking owner, and that's Mike Ashley, right? But at the end of the day, have a bit of fucking respect, alright? You fucking wanker.